So it's minus 10 outside, and I've got at least 10 minutes to wait for the second bus of this little thing. Rules are basically the same as last time, except there's no timer. I'm just gambling on my future, because if the last bus is delayed, or if I'm delayed along the way, I show up late for class. Although, fortunately, I have luck on my side. And there's my bus right there. So first bus is the 14, which I will be taking to South Oakville Center. Okay, so it turns out we're actually just leaving right away. The dot matrix board lied to me. I can't believe it. How dare the dot matrix board? I'm also legit surprised there's only 2 of these, there's only 3 of them on the entire network. Anyway, on to South Oakville Center. So I'm bus standing on Oakville Transit on a cold late March morning. Due to the Unifor strike that happened back in February, they've actually made bus travel throughout Oakville free for the month of March when they came back. So the plan is so I don't even need to worry about the timer on this time. I've just set it up so that the end of this should put me at the GO station in time for me to catch the train to school. So we're just turning around to leave the downtown core. And I remember a few years ago, the 14 used to head down Reynolds Street into the downtown core rather than doing its loop through Kerr Street and then into downtown. And there was a separate route that did the run down to Kerr Street. Now I understand that when they did this, it did have some benefits to the network, but it also meant that the service to Reynolds Street only happened, I think, for 1 bus a day that didn't run for 3 months a year. So that's kind of gonna suck if you live along that route. It's just another way that Oakville Transit service in Southeast Oakville is rather lacking. I actually wouldn't be surprised if this route had 4 buses a day that were significantly busier than the others. Considering that this bus passes by both St. Thomas Aquinas and Blakelock, the two high schools in Southwest Oakville, I bet a lot of people take the city bus to school. So we're here at South Oakville Center. It's going to be a bit longer of a layover because we left really early from the station. I am legitimately surprised that we did not have a layover at Oakville GO. Probably should speak to the city about that one. But yeah, next up is the 3, which we will be taking up to Ronnie GO, and is scheduled to depart at 8:58. I'm on the 3 now, scheduled for a 5-minute layover here at South Oakville Center. Okay, so it turns out that there's actually no problem. It turns out that the service is expanded every 15 minutes on this line on the 14 during rush hour. So can't believe I didn't notice that. I guess it must have just been hyperfixated on looking for what combination would let me finish off at Oakville GO about 10:45. So anyway, we're gonna be moving on. Ronnie GO now. Quick connection from the 3 to the 6. I'm honestly not sure how long the layover time is. I literally have it written down in my notes. I should really check that, but bus. So I'm on the bus, still laying over, probably didn't need to rush for it. This bus is actually one of those newer, shorter models that basically hacked off the 2 rows and goes right at the front of the upper section, so it's a 3-row setup in the back rather than 5. Considering most of these routes are fairly low ridership. I think that's totally reasonable. Anyway, how to head north. Aww. They built the road around the tree rather than cutting it down. That's nice. Heading on Upper Middle Road West, which isn't actually as much of a strode as I thought it was. It actually seems to make it so it nicely fits the definition of a road. So there's at least that, and there's the multi-use path on the north side. So overall, you know, it could be worse, but any problems it has are just overall problems with Oakville's car dependency, and I am not advertising stuff. Okay, this video is brought to you by Telcon Datvox Network Cabling, because it's either that or looking at the sky. Alright, previous moment of being a clown over, now passing over the Prince Edward Viaduct. I'm planning on getting off the bus at Trafalgar Road, and then I'm actually probably getting something to drink because I'm thirsty. Anyway, next will be from Trafalgar and Upper Middle. Okay, so officially the random generator had me taking the 24 from here to the Uptown Core, but I also just realized all the routes run collinear from here to Oakville Go. Not Oakville Go. For all the routes run collinear here from here to up the Uptown Core. So I'm gonna take the first bus that comes to the Uptown Core, because it is cold outside and I do not want to wait this less than this 19-minute layover. So Southern Ontarian culture is changing onto your summer tires right before or right after a major snowfall, because we always get that one last blast of winter when you least expect it. And this probably isn't it. It usually happens in April. So I caught the 5A, which, because it's like, I think the 1, the 5, the 19, the 20, and the 24 all co-line from here to Uptown Core. Since I'm just getting off the Uptown Core, I'll just take the first bus. Sure, it'll leave me with a longer layover to catch the specific bus I need to take back to the end of the. Take the specific bus I need back to Oakville Go to make the game work. But the bus is warm, outside is not. Part of me is wondering, like, with just the sheer number of buses that co-line through here, I actually came up with sort of hypothetical, cool future scenario where there's a streetcar heading up the center of Trafalgar Road, which would be cool. But then I realized at this time. They have an bus display, like an actual proper screen here at the Uptown Core, which is an upgrade from the dot matrix display the last time I was here. Anyway, we're looking for the 19 to Oakville Go. That's going to be 16 minutes from now, so more bus shelter time. But this time with added construction noise. So the Uptown Core is a place that is very contradictory. It's one of the few walkable, dense neighborhoods in Oakville, apart from Palermo. One of the few places like that. But at the same time, it's anchored by two strip malls and two massively wide streets. So it's very much a contradiction, and I think that really belies much of the. I think that really is exemplary of much of 2010s, 2020s built suburbia. So I'm on the 19 here. I'm going to be taking it all the way down to Oakville Go as the last segment on this fanning, where I should catch my train to take me into the city. This route doesn't go directly to Oakville Go. It meanders around through the River Oaks neighborhood, which is okay, I guess, and from a suburban standpoint. You know, it's got the car parking tucked away in the back. And it's denser than most single-family developments, although these developments are usually townhouses or semi-detached. There's actually occasionally during rush hour, I think there's like a few buses that will sort of go express on the We'll go express to this area, and they'll skip right up to Trafalgar. Maybe I'll take it one day up for the channel. On Munns Avenue, just passing by. On Munns Avenue, we just turned off River Glen Boulevard, and the notice we're just going at a complete crawl pace. Part of it is because there's traffic calming measures here because we're right outside of school, and part of me is also thinking it's because we're early because we've only had to service one stop so far, and we'll still have to service a second stop. We've only serviced 2 stops on the way, and we're early, so we had to hold earlier when it was just me on the bus. So we're just passing White Oak Secondary School here. And there's 2 campuses to White Oak Secondary School. There's the South Campus, which is the main one. That's where they host the IB program. And then there's the North Campus, where they host the North Campus, where they have a lot of the more technical programs. Until however many years ago, it was actually a separate school called James Wolfe Secondary School. And I think I'm glad that they folded it in and changed the name, because it's probably rather inflammatory to have General James Wolfe Secondary School located directly next to the French school. Considering the history of pre-Confederation Canada. Now I actually have to pay my fare. Pane of glass missing in here. Something all breeze in here. I'm gonna go into the platform onto a shelter. So my train is pulling in. The same train I would have taken had I done things the way I normally did, but I wouldn't have gotten some bus fanning done, and I wouldn't have made this.